Has Mr. Sinister's motley crew of freaks and outcasts been dealt their final blow? Well, let's hop into the pages of Hellions issue number 16 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from the explosive finale of the previous issue, Havoc had gone nuclear on his team while under the control of Empath. Ultimately, this was a good thing. Havoc was able to stop Mr. Sinister from attaining a type of godhood and activating his brand new Chimera-class mutant. Though it sure as hell doesn't feel good, poor Quan-On ended up losing the psychic backup of her child that Sinister was keeping hostage, and the rest of the team was already falling apart once they realized the lengths that Psylocke was willing to go to lie and manipulate them in Sinister's favor. Throw in the fact that Empath was ultimately revealed to be a double agent for Emma Frost, and the team is starting to wonder if any of the positive familial feelings they had for each other was real or just an illusion. Things have gotten so bad and so explosive, in fact, Cyclops and the rest of the New York X-Men team have been called in to bring the Hellions back to the island so they can be put back together again. This is also where we start to see an interesting little undercurrent for this Hellions issue, and that is that Cyclops and a lot of the other more prominent X-Men were actively rooting for the Hellions to succeed. They wanted to see the team as a force for good, a place where formerly evil or chaotic mutants could be given a chance to succeed in reintegrating Krakoan society. Of course, giving the reins to Mr. Sinister was probably a bad idea. I mean, his name is Mr. Sinister after all. He is furthermore going to not be held responsible for anything that went wrong here. He's on the Quiet Council, and they literally rely on his genetic tech to keep them immortal. Of course, no diplomatic immunity is going to keep Grey Crow from killing Mr. Sinister or Empath or anyone else he felt has wronged him, which is quickly becoming a long list. Now, this is all pretty sad and painful, but Zeb Wells goes out of his way to really rub some emotional salt in the wound. We see a broken and defeated Psylocke shooing away Wildchild like he was a dog in a kid's movie. Similarly, Orphan Maker, who we know for a fact has the brain of a child, admits that he actually has no idea what's going on now and why his friends are all fighting with each other and why it feels like they're not going to be a family anymore. Aww. Psylocke is ultimately forced to come clean to Cyclops, explaining that Sinister was holding her daughter over her head and making her do things she didn't want to do, but still, that's no excuse. Psylocke has dishonored herself and she vows to walk away from Krakoa forever. Granted, we know that's probably not the case, as she just became a war captain over in Inferno. The hits just keep on coming too. Havoc is being heralded as the hero of the day, despite the fact that he had no control over what he did, and that he blames himself for Quan-On losing her daughter. Still, wheels are in motion, and it seems that Alex is going to be gifted the thing that he's wanted for so long now, the resurrection of Madeline Pryor. Even though right now it's probably the most bittersweet prize anyone could ask for. Then there's the matter of Empath right now, Emma's secret ace in the hole. She congratulates him for a job well done, saying that he was always one of her most prized students and his cold psychopathy may very well have ended up saving all of Krakoa this day. And while Empath certainly plays it off as he's too cool to care about anything, deep down in his private moments, though, he has to wonder of what might have been. Did this team actually care about him? Either way, Empath is going to be living in fear of former teammate Grey Crow, who swore a bloody vengeance should Empath ever use his powers on him ever again, which he did. Wildchild tells Grey Crow if he breaks one of Krakoa's laws, they're going to throw him in the hole right next to Sabretooth, but Grey Crow has a good sense of humor about it, saying that he'll do it and laugh all the way down. Now, with all these stories finally coming full circle, there's the matter of Nanny and the robot baby that she brought to Krakoa, the one that she's shunning Orphan Maker for right now. Well, as it turns out, Nanny ends up getting a most unexpected message from, get this, her former husband and right scientist. You'll remember them as that group that made mutant-killing robots that weren't Sentinels. The Wright's actually been playing the long game this whole time, ever since the Hellions battled Cameron Hodge, and now they're coming to Krakoa to reclaim their property. Not just the baby Nanny took, but all the mutant children that Nanny has been collecting files on. They even try and frame Nanny by taking control of her craft and crashing it into that orphanage that we saw in the pages of Way of X. Orphan Maker ends up saving Nanny, and you think everything's gonna be alright, only she ends up rebuking his love once again. And as the comic winds down, we're treated to a quote. Apparently after this moment, Orphan Maker went on to do something horrible that not even Nanny could have seen coming. And so that was Hellions issue number 16, everybody, and while we may be entering the end game for this Zeb Wells series, you can't say they didn't absolutely pull out all the stops for the end. In a book that up until now has been such a joyously dark, messed up comedy, I really have to take my hat out and give give a round of applause to the creator for changing gears so thoroughly into, well, just kind of a feel-bad emotional roller coaster. Everyone's at their positive lowest moment, everyone hates each other, and we're not sure if they're going to be able to make it out. But because over the last several arcs we've been able to humanize and sympathize with these freaks, monsters, and outsiders, I for one hope they do ultimately get their version of a happy ending. I would give this one a very strong 9 out of 10, and I can't wait to see how this all shakes out in the end.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quests. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.